Well, hello, guys. Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. My name is Danny Deals on behalf of executive producer Hurricane Lopez and supervising producer Stock Karen. We would like to say hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. It is Thursday, August 10th, 2023. The time is 4:19 p.m. out here in beautiful Los Angeles, California, and we would like to talk with you about Unity Biotechnology Inc., ticker symbol UBX. Guys, some exciting news. Earnings just came out, which isn't really that exciting, but it did bring with it some new information. We will expect AMD readout during this quarter, Q3 2023. We have a setup for the Phase 2B DME study that will go head to head with the current standard of care. We also have a study coming out where UBX 1325 will be used in combination with the anti VGF therapies. So, a lot of exciting stuff, but it's a little bit slow moving. The stock has been hit quite hard, but today on the day, guys, the stock's up 27% or 11.74%, excuse me, 27 cents, not percent, and down just 4 cents or 1.55 after hours. So basically holding on to a 10% gain for the day, guys, on very low volume, 122,000 shares trading hands. Taking a look at the chart, guys, we're seeing a couple of key levels on this stock in this, you know, 20 I would say 220 to 350 range, guys. And why is this range important? First of all, I'm looking at three lines here, guys. This blue dotted line on the bottom might be a little bit hard to see. That's at about 220. This aqua sort of larger dotted line is sitting right about 350, and then this downward orange dotted trend line you can see is a very, very important line. Before this pump and dump back on August 5th, 2022, a whole year ago, the stock topped out there and it has tested that upward bound range line, trading sideways and down, just basically bleeding. Tested it on a bit of a pump on the December 8th area 2023, tested it again on March 8th, 2023, tried to come back up toward the end of the month and failed. Tested that trend line again on June 8th, tested that trend line again on June 21st, again on July 12th, again on July 19th, again on August 1st or 2nd. These dates are approximate. I'm obviously looking at the chart. And today we shot back up toward that trend line. Now, if you look at this 350 range, this is important because it was support back here, but then it looks like this line has flipped from support to resistance. You can see back in December, it was support twice. Then again in March, it was support twice. We fell off a cliff after those AMD results were disappointing based on the unexpected gain in visual acuity with the control group that they were testing sort of against. Made the data look quite bad, even though it really was not. But again, guys, you see the stock coming after it made this huge fall and loop. You see buying pressure back up and then consolidating again around that 220 area before slowly pushing up. That was actually another test, guys. I missed that one. Right there, but we could go ahead and put that in that there was another test right there going downward, but that doesn't really matter. It kind of makes my chart look ugly. Anyway, guys, this trend line going down is probably more important than this range at 350. Whenever you see a trend line that's been tested 7, 8 times and has remained consistently, a firm bound up for an entire year, that's a line you have to respect. As is this 220 line, guys. We're came back and tested it again right now, but this 220 line held up back last November, November again, held up again in December, came down below, but then we consolidated around that line. I would say all the way from right around April 17, and then didn't break back above it for like 3 weeks. So this line has been very important, and this downward trend line has been very important. Now, why do I want to talk about that right now, guys? Because um, this is getting to a situation where one of these trend lines that have both been, you know, very accurate or very important with the data set we see around them. We're coming into this point, guys, where we're between this blue line and this range line. So, or this upper bound trend line going down into the right, where something has to give in this area, guys. Like these lines intersect right here. The wedge is right here. Um, Given everything I'm seeing, the earnings, the data, we're probably going to go up from here. That's my theory. Is this stock, given everything that we know, going to break down below this 220 support? I would say absolutely not. Looking at the more sort of recent price action, we can see that we basically have started on a round trip. Again, testing here, um, coming back down, testing the lower bound, and then shooting back up. So, guys, as we come down and we meet the upper trend line and lower trend line, this is generally where something's going to happen. And again, I believe the stock is going to make a move to the upside. Unity Biotechnology reports second quarter 2023 financial results. This is August 8, 2023. We are focused on rapidly advancing UBX 1325 into the next clinical study to help patients suffering from DME who receive some suboptimal benefit from current anti-VEGF standard of care, said Anner van Gogh, PhD, Chief Executive of Unity. Our Phase 2b Aspire study is a head-to-head trial comparing UBX 1325 against aflibercept in patients with DME and follows our positive data from Phase 2 Behold study in which patients showed statistically significant and clinically meaningful improvement in visual acuity that was sustained through 48 weeks after just a single dose of UBX 1325. We're also looking forward to continuing to learn about the potential efficacy of 1325 in combination with aflibercept in Part B of the Phase 2 Envision study in patients with wet AMD. And guys, we may not have even really realized the potential of this drug until it is used in combination with anti-VEGF therapies, because while those can tear down the structures of the eye, UBX 1325 actually rebuilds the structures of the eye. The company expects to disclose 48-week data from Part V of the Envision Phase 2 study in patients with AMD in the third quarter. So, guys, we are currently in the third quarter. We're actually about 6 weeks through the third quarter. So, these results will be coming in the next month and a half. Also, in the third quarter, the company expects to activate clinical trial sites in Aspire with the first patient dosed shortly thereafter. The Aspire study is expected to enroll about 40 subjects with 16-week data expected in the fourth quarter 2024 and 24-week data expected in the first quarter 2025. So, guys, we are going to see that head-to-head data really rolling out in about a year and a half. So I know that seems like a long time for some investors, not to me. When you talk about a drug with this kind of potential, I definitely don't mind waiting a couple years, particularly when the market cap is so very low. Cash equivalents, and marketable securities totaled 71 million as of June 30, compared with 94 on December 31st, 2022. Unity believes that current cash equivalents, marketable securities are sufficient to fund operations into the fourth quarter of 2024. Guys, and that is extremely important. That shows really good planning by management. Most companies with this um, very small market cap, sort of a very small footprint, who just, laid off their chief medical officer, laid off, a lot of their headcount. A lot of these companies would be desperate for cash. They would have planned poorly. To have a cash runway that goes on through that actual readout, notice that the 16-week data readout from the Aspire study is expected in fourth quarter 2024, and we have cash to fund operations into the fourth quarter 2024. So current cash gets us very close to that 16-week readout. That could be very important to the company. Operating loss for 3 months ended June 30 was 12 million compared to 12.3 for last year. Cash used operations first and second quarter was 22.4 compared to 29.8 in 2022. R&D expenses decreased by 1.2 7.1 million to 6.5, and we're 7.6 in the previous year. Decrease was due to personnel costs, reduced headcount, and a reduction of force, and 0.7 million operating to reduce fixed asset depreciation and reduced office space. General administrative, blah, blah, blah. You guys can read all these numbers yourself. Guys, Unity Biotechnology, you could see the filings, the 10Q. You can definitely read over all those. I'm not going to go over the filings. Nobody likes that. People's eyes glaze over and they tune out. Guys, I want to point out Matthew Caulfield is absolutely the best analyst in this space with H.C. Wainwright. He just reiterated 2 days ago, buy rating, $10 price target, 289% upside. Salim Syed with Mizuho, who is kind of a D-bag. He also reiterated a buy, $6 price target. You see Wedbush, who I believe, at this point is completely corrupt. They trot out these really horrible analysts. If you look at Andreas Argyrides, or however, Igarides, he has a success rate of 35%. Now, his return, he did hit a couple of home runs because he has a tiny positive return of 2.7%, but his successful trades were 45 out of 127. You get Dylan Doofus, or excuse me, Dylan Douchebag. I don't know how to pronounce that. Doucheface. I don't know. That's some kind of an ethnic name. I don't get that. It probably goes with the goatee and that horrible toupee. But Dylan Doucheface is with Roth MKM. He does have a $10 price target and a buy on the stock. So he must know what he's talking about. And Yigal Nochkovitz, he looks like a garden gnome and has that weird center forehead clump of hair, which is very disturbing. But he is a 4.5-star analyst. He's only successful 41% of the time, but his average return is 7%. And guys, just pointing this out, Matthew Caulfield's average return with 54 ratings is 38%. Average return, counting his winners and losers. His winners are 61%. So that's one of the best average returns I've ever seen on tip ranks, and he's a buy at $10, just to point that out. Guys, taking a look at the holders on UBX, Anner Van Gogh, latest to file on August 7, he increased his share count by 9,650 shares, and he's currently holding 66,000 shares of UBX. He's a relatively new CEO, relatively young guy. You look at the recent history, guys, the filings going all the way back to April. Basically, no one has sold any stock. Jamie Dannenberg, he was the former chief medical officer who left the company, and he got a very generous severance, but he sold 300 shares, basically nothing. I don't know why they're this one share count deal, but if you look, not only did the CEO buy, or he was maybe granted those options, but BlackRock increased 37,000 shares as of July 31st filing. Dimension Fund increased 37,000. The Vanguard Group increased 80,000 shares, are now holding 523,000 shares, a large position. Geo Capital, again, a large increase. Virtu Financial came in with a new position at the June 30th filing date, 18,000 shares. Charles Schwab just has a few shares, not sure what they're doing. FMR LLC, this is a company that gets into sort of the short-long space, I believe, but they increased by 312,000 shares to 600,000 share count overall. And guys, as an overview, the volume kicked back up a little bit today. It has been very low. We barely even pushed over 100,000 shares for the last week. So kicking up to, 112,000. Boy, oh boy, the stock's on fire. Guys, taking a look at the short interest, little bit interesting, say over the last 7 days, the short has increased quite significantly, 26% estimated short interest of free float. Short, and again, when I see the free float on loan going up only 8% and the short interest of free float going up 27%, my mind immediately goes to short long players that are both holding long shares and also shorting the stock. Having their cake and eating it too, if you will. Sort of a Marie Antoinette situation. But the days to cover are interesting, guys, because look at this. The days to cover were just in the twos on June 27. So then days to cover shot up to 4.6 by July 3rd and have gone up and up and up to over 6. So It doesn't really make any sense that the estimated short interest of the free float is only 6% and days to cover would be 7. There's a lot more than meets the eye here, and there's a hell of a lot more short interest than is being reflected in these numbers. I mean, utilization is 60%, guys, went up 6%. So there's not a lot of shares that people want to loan out, and cost to borrow has gone up 4.7%. Days to cover have gone up 11%. Just in the last little while. If you go back on a 3 month, if you go back on 3 months, everything's down, guys. Short interest is down. Estimated short interest of free float down 20%. Free float on loan down 12%. Shares on loan down 12%. Cost to borrow down 14%. Utilization down 18%. But days to cover are up 106%. If you go back just over a month, you kind of see the same scenario. Everything else is down, but days to cover are way, way up. And again, guys, this points in my book to short, long, a lot of hedging, a lot of games being played with this stock, and there have been for some time. Guys, it's Unity Biotechnology. Ticker symbol is UBX. What do I think is going to go on with the stock? Basically, there's no more data coming out until sort of probably toward the end of this quarter. At least that's when they have released data in the past. But as far as what's going to happen with the price action, obviously, I believe the stock is going to go up from here. I believe it's dramatically undervalued, as do the analysts. Why do I believe that, guys? You're talking about a $36 million market cap for a drug that looks extremely, extremely promising for DME, which is a market worth billions and billions of dollars. So even if this drug can become, FDA approved and utilized even in combination with anti-VEGF therapies, the market cap is absurdly low, and the data for AMD that sent this thing down below $1.50 was not even that bad. It was an unusual data set. So I feel like if the data that comes out this quarter for AMD is really, really good, that completely takes away all of the negativity that we saw back here on March 24, when the stock was at $4.15, fell all the way to 2 and just didn't stop falling till it hit like $1.49, or a little bit less than that with the tail. But I think it went to like $1.46 or something. But guys, this stock is, in my mind, just absurdly undervalued. What it does is quite I'll probably mispronounce this, but it targets senescent cells that break down the structures in the eye, and it allows the eye to rebuild healthy structures and tissues. It affects retinal thickness. It's really amazing if this thing works, how some of us think it's going to work, how the scientists at the company think it's going to work. You have a whole new thing here. It's a whole new game. It's a big market. The demand is going to be there. The DME market is growing. It's expected to basically double over the next 8 years, according to some reports that I have read. And I just think this company is extremely promising. It's new, it's cutting edge, it's exciting. And yes, you are going to have to wait, a year and a half or something like that to get definitive readout on this phase 2B study versus the anti-VEGF treatment. But again, in the world of these small biotechs, that's not that long to wait. And I think they can also start a phase 3 trial while they're running that phase 2B trial. I think given the data they had last time on DME, I don't think that would be a problem to design such a trial with the FDA. But perhaps their move is instead to basically show how well this thing works, both against aflibercept, against the anti-VEGF treatment in this phase 2B, but also show how well it works with the anti-VEGF treatment in combination with the AMD results that will be coming out later on this quarter. So guys, exciting things happening. We have readout this quarter. We have a new trial enrolling and should go ahead and get started this quarter. The stock is UBX, Unity Biotechnology Inc. I believe the stock is currently worth at least $5, at least, and I think I will defer to HC Wainwright and Caulfield when he says it's worth 10. I think that's a little bit of an aggressive target, but I think five's an easy target at this point. Just given the data that we saw last time on DME, it was quite extraordinary, and that was with one injection over 48 weeks, and the results were proven in terms of the effectiveness and the durability of that drug. It was just a sight to see. So to be able to buy in here at a $37 million market cap for a company that has a cash runway that is going to last into Q4 of next year, I think, again, this stock price is just disconnected from reality. I think the shorts hit it real hard after that AMD data. Everybody panicked, got out of the stock. I myself was buying, but let me pause this for a second. Sorry about that, guys. Had an important phone call, some important business matters I had to take care of. But in any case, that's UBX. Of course, I'm getting another call. Guys, I'm going to bail out of this video. I've said everything I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Ticker symbol is UBX. My name is Danny Deals for Hurricane Lopez and Stock Karen. We'd like to say thank you for watching and Poco Moss. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.